Hello and welcome to M.ClixFlix. I'm your host, as always, M.Clix, working every day to bring you the best Heroclix channel available on YouTube. And today's video is pretty much an Origins wrap-up, my general experience there, and talk about what I ran, stuff like that. So, first and foremost, I wanted to thank you guys, all of you that bought those silly grab bags I kept selling to try to pay for the trip. Ended up that I sold enough of them to where it only ended up being about $100 out of my own pocket to go. So thank you guys, like really thank you for buying all those. I still have some left. I'm gonna put a link in the description below to sell off the rest of them. It's still 11 bucks for a grab bag, $4.50 shipping, which I know is a lot, but that's literally what it cost me to ship it, including the box and the actual shipping cost and whatnot. But it's $4.50 no matter how many grab bags you buy. So you buy one, it's $4.50. You buy 10, it's $4.50. You buy what I have left. I think I got 50 left, maybe. Still $4.50. So thank you guys so much for doing that. It really made it nice for me to go. So let's go ahead and talk about what I ran. I competed in both qualifiers. I ran two different teams. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the team that I ran the first day, opponents that I faced, team I ran the second day, opponents that I faced. And then that's about it because I did some battle royales too, and those were all sealed. Not much to talk about those. Maybe I'll do a if you guys post comments saying hey, do a video on it. I might do a video on battle royales and how to do them effectively, stuff like that, like how to play in them effectively and do the team builds out of your sealed. So if you want a video like that, just comment in the comment section below. Tell me that's what you want. I'll do a video on it. No big deal. All right. So the team I ran the first day was 300 points even, and it was 10th anniversary Ironman at 225. Jarvis at 40 points. Well, he's only got the 40-point dial. 4 ID cards. The ID cards were Daredevil, Shang-Chi, Ronin, Hawkeye. Sinestro core battery with a decoy, catapult, mallet, bulldozer, and then that was it. And then sideline, like on the ID cards, on the Ronin ID card, I just had Ronin. On the Hawkeye ID card, I had the rare from Age of Ultron movie set Hawkeye and the common from Avengers Assembled Hawkeye. Shang-Chi card, I just had the Deadpool Shang-Chi. That's the only thing that can go on them. And then the Daredevil card, I had the main set and Gravity Feat set. Daredevil, just in case, if I needed the outwit, I could pick the Gravity Feat Daredevil. If I needed the Precision Strike, I'd pick the main set Daredevil. So it was Avengers theme team, so +2 to my map roll, 2 theme team PCs. The idea of this team, why I ended up running this the first day, is because I noticed in the metagame, Book of the Skulls was a thing again, and Orange Lantern Battery seemed to be a big deal. So 10th anniversary Iron Man, if you're assigned a resource, he only takes 1 damage, potentially 0. So the Orange Lantern Battery is unique in that you have to assign it to use its the core ability. It's not like the Green Lantern Battery where you can just have it on your team, not assign it to anybody, and then get around 10th anniversary Iron Man. It has to be assigned to him. Normally, it's assigned to your main guy because that's the guy with all the powers that you want to take away. So I figured, you know what? In this environment, Book of the Skulls is the thing. He stops it in its tracks. Doesn't take too much damage from it. So that's good. And then the Orange Lantern Battery has to be assigned for him to get what they're trying to get out of it. So it'll stop that team too. So I was like, it's an oldie but a goodie, and in the current meta, I thought that it would do well. Jarvis is on there basically just for the 3 ID cards that he brings in, but he also has Perplex, and then with the catapult, in my play testing, it felt a lot like the old build from back in Chaos Wars, where it was 10th anniversary Iron Man, 75-point Scarlet Witch, and you just TK'd and perplexed all around the board. So it felt good because it was a old style team with some new flavor to it. And then I was like, I run up against this Duke Gluttony team. I have some ID cards to burn, so if they take some Mystics damage, it's not a big deal. Flurry from whatever his name is, Ronin, to deal more than one damage in one attack. Well, more than one damage on an action. Same thing, multi-targeting with either Hawkeye. I liked it, and then if I got high fathered, I had enough decent hitters on my ID cards to where, just move Iron Man over, power action, bring in the ID card character, take care of the pack. So I felt like it was pretty good. But ended up going 1-3 on the day. My first match, I played against Rob, and I feel super bad because I can't remember his name. But he's a Department H person, so he plays with Patricia Lamb, people like them from Canada. And he was a nice guy, good player. Ended up playing Cheshire with the LE version. With Parallax attached, Maximus, Lockshot, 25 points for the Fast Forces. I told you guys I like that figure a lot. Split Lip, full book of the Skulls, and a Green Lantern Recruit. So I saw his team initially. I was like, good, this is exactly what I built for. He won map roll, even though I had bonus. And he put us on an indoor map, which I was like, cool. Okay, indoor. I get an extra bonus from Jarvis. But it was cut off in a bunch of places. I can't even remember the map. But it was very blocked off. I wasn't going to be able to take advantage of my range or my alpha strike ability with Jarvis. And also the way it was set up is I was very limited on line of fire for my battery, even though it's colossal. The indoor walls still blocked it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try to skirt around a little. I just anticipated every game I'm going to lose Jarvis, but Iron Man's tough enough to where, I'll maybe get some things out of Jarvis to be able to take out one or two characters before he goes down. So I positioned a little bit, came through with a Kurth's Hammer on his Green Lantern Recruit to break down a wall to come get me. Then he brought Cheshire over. Cheshire didn't hit me at all. Actually, the team worked really good with what it was supposed to do. But what he did was he brought in the Alpha Primitives with Maximus, which I anticipated. I knew that was something he was going to do. But he tied me up, and I wasn't able to get away. Well, I was able to get away the first time from Cheshire with Iron Man. And then whenever he KO'd Jarvis, it made it so I had to, try my breakaway rolls and whatnot, and I wasn't able to get those. So he had me tied down with Cheshire. Had Maximus pop out the Alpha Primitives, and then the Alpha Primitives came over. They weren't assigned the resource, and hit me. He outwitted my Impervious. I had the decoy on him, so I figured, layered defense of shape change, impervious, and then if you got through all that, I still got my roll to see if I took 1 or 0. But he had he worked around that pretty good, outwitted my defense, missed my shape change roll, hit me for 5 with the 1 Alpha Primitive. Then other Alpha Primitive came over, KO'd me. I didn't make any of my shape change rolls. I didn't make any of my breakaway rolls. The dice were angry at me for some reason, but beat me fair and square. At the tournament, somebody told me that the Alpha Primitives were still assigned the Book of the Skull when they came in. So for a minute, I was like, wait a minute, this isn't right. But the match was already over. There wasn't anything to do about it. And then later on, somebody confirmed what I originally thought, is that they weren't assigned the book. So as far as I know, whenever outside the game people come in, they're not assigned the book, and he was fine, and I took the 8 that I should have taken. Whereas whenever that first person told me that they were assigned the book, even though I thought they were wrong, I was like, wow, I might only need to take 2 damage instead of 8. So lost to that team. He's a good player, no shame in losing to him. Next team played against a Felix Faust Brainiac ship at 100 points, Brother Voodoo, and I feel like he had a resource. I can't remember for the life of me what he had. But anyway, what happened is uh, Brother Voodoo came over, mind controlled my Jarvis to move, and then Brainiac Skullship killed Jarvis. I was like, that's fine. I anticipated this happening. But he was close enough to where I could just get to him with Iron Man. Hit the Brainiac Skullship a few times. Had him down to his last click. I was just blatantly ignoring Brother Voodoo. He wasn't doing anything to me. He wasn't going to be able to do anything to me. That Iron Man has an 18 defense, but with the Skullship, it might as well be, or not the Skullship, Sinestro Core Battery, might as well be a 20 because you're getting -2 to your attack. And then, shape change, impervious, and then if you happen to make it through that and you have a resource, still might only take 1. So blatantly ignoring him. Had the Skullship down to his last click. I had no action tokens on me. My next turn, I was going to get my 100 points, and I was going to be able to just relax the rest of the game. And then for the next 4 turns, I sat there, and the Faust player rolled. I could only make close combat attacks, and I was 2 squares away from everybody. He didn't slow play or anything like that. It's just it took me that long because I had been getting a little bit hosed by the Faust the whole game, but not to the point where I was totally ineffective. But whenever he got those 4 in a row, he wasn't able to do anything with his Skullship. He kept trying to attack me with it, but it wasn't hitting me. And then time was called, and I lost 40-0 because I sat for 4 turns in a row with my cleared Iron Man and couldn't attack because every single time, with no probs, he got close combat only attacks. That was the only Faust team I played all weekend. It was fine. I could see. I'll do a different video on Faust and the whole watch list thing. It wasn't as bad. I didn't feel super bad about it. I was like, you know what, he beat me. Chances of him with no probs getting that 4 in a row, not very good. Had he rolled anything else, I would have been able to slam somebody. I would have got my points. Third match, that puts me 0-2. Wasn't having a good day. My team was able to keep it close for everything. Like the first match against Rob, everybody except for the Alpha Primitives were on their last click because I was just pulse waving, hitting people. So it was close. It didn't look close on points, but it was close. And had I been able to avoid one of those attacks, I would have been fine. But I wasn't. So 0-2. Third match played against a Faust and a 200-point zombie team base. And I feel like he had a resource or something, and I can't remember. But anyway, he very well might not have. But anyway, I didn't understand why he'd play the zombie team base 300 points. And honestly, the zombie team base is what my team was weakest against. I only had 1 honest attacker on my team, not counting the ID cards. The potential for them to attack me twice in turn was something I was going to have to worry about, especially when you consider that, you run the full 300-point team base. You don't have a resource. You're more points than me. So any advantage that I might have had is gone whenever I went against that 300-point team base. But the fact that he ran at 200 points, I was more points. He picked Wendigo, however that map is with the bazillion things at elevation. So I literally sat in my starting area. I was like, I'm not crossing because he had the team base. So if I would have moved, I think it was 3 squares out, he would have been able to alpha strike me. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I was like, I hate to be this way. I was like, I already lost 2 matches, so I need, I got to play a little bit more conservatively here. So got my decoy on Iron Man, and did the catapult on Jarvis, but switched around to keep battery moving some. His Faust didn't get any rolls that helped them whatsoever. And that was another reason, too, why I didn't move out of my space. So I was like, I don't want to waste an action moving out of my starting area only to be sent back to my starting area and have one action token. So I was like, I'm just going to stay here. And I apologized to him. I was like, I don't actually like playing this way, but that's what I'm going to do. So he came all the way to me, popped off a Juggernaut. I forget what all he had on his base, but popped off Juggernaut. Because of all that elevation, he knocked out my Jarvis, and I was able to move around to single target Pulse Wave his or no, I didn't single target it. What I did was there was Outwit on the Sinestro Core Battery. Outwitted the defense, attacked him, KO'd him. He also had a 5-point ID card on his team. That was something that I forgot to mention. Brought out his ID character. His ID character is the one that ended up KO'ing Jarvis. I think he had Triathlon. So Flurry to finish off Jarvis, who had, he kept taking his one click at a time, but eventually he did wear through him because he had the low defense. And he realized that it was going to take a lot to chop down the Iron Man tree, so he just tried to get the 40 points he could and then was hoping that I was going to miss my rolls. And I actually, as bad as my rolls were for the very first game, they were much better this third game. Kept hitting them with the Iron Man, kept cannibalizing figures until he couldn't anymore, KO the team base. Then I took out the Faust, and I ended up getting 500 points on a 300-point game. So actually, I was pretty close, because what they were going to do is they were going to do top half of the players got a con exclusive figure, bottom half of the players got a ID card, con exclusive, which, if you remember my video from Nationals, that was kind of a complaint, is that if you participated, you didn't get anything outside of what you got for your sealed stuff. So I was pretty excited to get something for my efforts. But I was like, 500 points, if I can go 2-2 and win my second game and at least get half of his stuff, well, I figured if I got 200 points, because I figured 700 points at 2-2, I had a shot at being in the top half. So I wasn't feeling too bad about my day, and I was like, I still have the other day to where I can be 5-3 and still have an outside shot at making it in. So third match, played against Shriek Turtle, Parallax on Shriek, had a Yellow Lantern battery and another figure that I've tried for 2 days now to remember, and I can't remember it. But he did to me what I was planning on doing to other people with a different team that I had, where Sniper Rifle on Shriek, get her to your second click, and just basically take away their ranged attacks. You got to come to me. So what he did was he did that. I wasn't able to outrange him. He ended up having like a 12 range on Shriek. I maxed out an 11 on my team. So I couldn't get higher than, or I maxed out at the 12 and I needed the 13. So I couldn't do that, and he KO'd my Jarvis, which was fine. Again, planning on losing it. And just because of that silly turtle that he left sit all the way in the back, I couldn't move and get to anybody effectively. The person he had, it might have been, I forget, it was somebody though that could move him around. Anyway, so I was like, you know what, it's getting late in the game. I was just trying to get points at a certain point. So I was like, you know what, I KO a turtle, I win 50-40. So I just push full movement, try to base turtle. I base him. His turtle has no action tokens. Wasn't even thinking whenever I did that. He I mean, it was the only thing I could do, but he switched his turtle's construct to a bulldozer, force blasted me away, and that was it. I had my 2 action tokens, had to clear, and then at that point, time was up. So I tried to do what I could do. He ended up winning on points. He KO'd my battery because I was pushing my battery to try to get +3 to all stats. So he KO'd my battery, KO'd my Jarvis, because it towards the end of the game I just kept pushing my battery, trying to bump up my stats to get something going for me so I could KO his turtle. So went 1-3 that day. Ended up with an ID card. My team did okay. Like I didn't get blown out in any game, or what I felt was a total blowout. It kept it relatively close for all. Hindsight, I probably should have stuck with the same team day 2. Actually, the first team I faced day 2, my team would have been perfect for. But anyway, so 1-3. My day 2 team was a little bit different. It was after going against that Shriek in that last round. I was like, you know what? I'm switching to the Shriek team that I thought about, because that was like my second team that I liked after the Iron Man, and then there was third team that we'll talk about in a different video. But anyway, my Shriek team that I ran day 2 was Shriek, Headpool, 3 of them, Black Hand possessing Shriek, Red Lantern battery with a stop sign net sniper rifle and axe, Maximum Carnage ATA, word bubbles for everybody, 300-point monster theme team. Idea was to I really needed the lantern ring, so that's why I went with the theme team. I had a more effective team with Shriek and some other stuff where it was the same idea, but I got Shriek immediately to that second click, and it just, I needed the ring too bad to allow Lily Mallard to take it, so I was like, I need my +5. So the idea was to get Shriek to click 2, sniper rifle on her, and then just basically do what my opponent did to me the day before, where you have to come to me. I have red constructs on all my head pools. You can only deal 1 damage at a time to the head pool, so you're taking 3 penetrating damage of poison each turn. Plus, I can I can do my since I'm a Red Lantern. I had the full spectrum. I had Giant Reach, so I could choose to Giant Reach over the head pools to hit you, or I could range combat attack with the Psy Blast or Mind Control, you know, whatever it was that I wanted to do with Shriek. And then Maximum Carnage ATA, where if you were running a team that was all clumped together like Gloop or something like that, you know, 4 damage and then 4 damage to the person that was next to you. It was simple, but I liked how it went. It was passive. You're waiting on your opponent to come to you. You figure Shriek can move a little bit. I think she's only got like a 7 movement, but the head pools only have 2 movement. So there's not a lot of movement on this team. You're basically waiting on your opponent to come to you, take their 3 damage, and they're going to cross their fingers they can knock out enough people before they take the poison damage to get KO'd. Ended up playing first round. I forget his name, but I've seen him. He's won a few different ROCs or placed highly in them. And what he did is he said he borrowed a team from a friend that went 4-0 the day before, and the team was Phantom Girl with Parallax on it, Scarlet Witch, the LE version with the Hex tokens, Atomica with Adara attached, 25-point Atomica, Split Lip, full Book of Skulls. I feel like Scarlet Witch was possessed by somebody, but I cannot think of who it was. So what he did was he came out, then he TK'd Phantom Girl. Since he couldn't carry, he came out like right to the edge of where the Battle Fury would be. Then he TK'd Phantom Girl out. Phantom Girl did her phasing thing, and it was like the perfect team to beat what I had. Phantom Girl did her phasing, phased through everybody on my team so that we couldn't use the Relics Assign. KO'd. I don't think Shriek made it through the first turn. And then the head pools, I tried. I moved them around. I ended up getting my whole team KO'd. and that was it. I dropped after that. I was like, I'm 1-4 right now. Not that I was upset about being 1-4, but I was just like, you know what? If I drop now, I can do battle royales the rest of the day, and you know, maybe get some more stuff. Whereas if I play the next 3 rounds, unless I go 3-1, I'm not going to get anything more than a ID card. And I was like, I have the potential to get at least 3 ID cards if I just drop and play in battle royales. So I dropped. I went 1-4. I felt bad about dropping, but like I said, once you thought about it, it was the smart thing to do. So for helping me go to Origins and Nationals, you guys, I have some stuff to give away. I actually have 2 ID cards. One is a Daredevil ID card, con exclusive. He gives you leap, climb, improved movement, ignores hindering, improved targeting, ignores hindering. And second place is going to be Justice ID card from Avengers Assembled. I got this during one of the battle royales. Both the codes on both cards are still good. So what do you have to do to enter the contest? Well, since it was since it was Worlds, it was Origins too, but since it was Worlds and the winner gets to design a figure, I want you to, in the comments below, post what figure you would have made, and then maybe give us an idea of its top dial and like a special power that it might have had or something like that. You know, just like highlights of what would have been on the figure that you would have made. And then let's see here. Today is the 16th, so I will give you a full week, which will be 7 days from now. So that'll be I can't even add anymore. That'd be the 23rd, I think. So on the 23rd, somewhere about there, I might give you an extra day or two. You have to enter. All you got to do, what figure you would have made, give us an idea what it would have been like. Figure that I like the most will be get the Daredevil card. I'll send you a message saying, hey, give me your address. Mail them out, no cost to you. Second place gets Justice. Same thing. Mail out, no cost to you. Just thank you for you guys sending me to both of those for a very minimal cost on my end. Daredevil ID card's worth $20-25. Justice about $10 or $5. So just a small way to say thank you. As always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to view my Heroclix videos as they become available. Till next time, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.